Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. I hope my sound is on. I think it is. If not, I'm sure you guys will tell me. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is well. Welcome back to Friday stream, the last stream of the week. If you guys are enjoying the show, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And of course, drop a like whilst you're at it. It really does help out the channel. I do appreciate everyone who does leave a like. Like I said, it does help out the channel, so I do really appreciate it. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Karis, good morning. Welcome. Testing me with that name there. I'm going to say Saturday. I'm going to go for the surname, I think. But good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Probably didn't pronounce it right anyway. Brian, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Gerald, welcome to the stream. Love the show. Appreciate it. Straight to the point, detailed analysis. That's the goal, my friend. That is the goal. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hello from Ghana. Wicked. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Just, of course, from shorts and dollar CAD. Okay. Yes, we'll have a look. No problem. Retested 0.168 level, night shift momentum. Okay, we will discuss. Darkshon, good morning. GJ for yeah, GJ. I mean, all the M pairs to be honest, but yeah, bloody hell, a lot of movement on the M pairs. I have re-entered my shorts and pound yen, which I'll go take a look at. But I was stopped out of my position yesterday, but that was such a big move, and I've got a pretty chunky stop loss as well. But yeah, it's a tough one because that's the yen pairs for you. It can sometimes be difficult to time, especially when it's that volatile. You know, even if you did time it well, you need to have a big stop loss to actually make sure you're covered. So it's always difficult to trade that. But as I always say on the channel, if you do get stopped out, if you do get faked out potentially, as long as the idea is still valid, you should still be looking for your entries. Don't be put off about getting taken out of the trade. If the trade is still valid, still look for your re-entries. And I have got back into GJ, and I'll go through that in a minute. But yeah, a lot of pips, big moves. It's it's almost comical, to be honest. What's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. FX Wolf, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Ben, good morning. Bank of Japan, got the stick of that uptrend on the yen pairs. I know. What we're going to do with Bank of Japan, just having their fun, aren't they? Yeah. Looking to take it back into 180. Yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal with pound yen. That's the goal, but it's just been a nuisance. Anyway, we'll go through a couple pairs. Dollar CAD. I'll take a look at my GJ position, and we'll discuss some yen pairs. Euro yen, FX Wolf is waiting for confirmation as well. Good morning, Holy One. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Will, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. OP, good morning. Hope you are well. So let's go through some pairs into the action. So dollar CAD. Are you still in the shorts, or meant about an hour ago I executed looking to write it down? Yeah, I'm not too sure if you're still in there or you have exited the position. But in terms of my thinking with dollar CAD, again, I'm still very bearish on USD. So that is very much my long-term play. If I'm seeing upside in dollar CAD, I'm expecting it to find a top and come back down. The goal of us traders is to find where that top will be, where we can look to play some shorts and ride that down. I did touch upon this area here yesterday. I like this area here. It's a bit more of an intraday level, nothing that I would look at myself, but if you're looking for entries, probably on the hourly and below, this could be a nice little level to look for a reaction from. And not necessarily doesn't have to be a target. You don't have to necessarily look for the swing low for it to be a successful position. Even a push down to here, you can secure some gains, maybe go to break even, and then see if we can run to the lows there with some, leaving some positions to run. But move back to here looks pretty reasonable. Price is still rejecting this area pretty well. In fact, yesterday I did say if we come back for a double top, that could be a nice place for an entry. Already see some nice rejection on the hourly there. So I do like this position to the downside, back to the low there at least, because this is kind of where we're consolidating. And if we can get the break of that, then of course we can start discussing a swing to that low there. But I like dollar CAD. It's at a really nice area. I think shorts look good here. Stops above the zone here. If the market does break through that, it becomes a little bit more awkward. Maybe we're going to come back to this area here for a retest. So that's probably where you're next looking for shorts. I'm not bullish on dollar CAD at all, really. So I'm not interested in the buys. Looking at this from a top-down perspective, I think dollar CAD is most likely going to push to these lows here eventually. And just this week, we've had a really nice, well, last week as well, really nice rejection of that area. So now I'm just expecting follow through on the way down. Of course, dollar CAD is a bit of a choppy pair, so I'm not expecting just a clean move to the downside. It's going to have its kind of consolidations, its pullbacks, its messy stuff. So I wouldn't look for such a big swing in one move, but shorts is what I'll be looking for. So yeah, looking for shorts of that area. I definitely do like the look of it. And again, at least the push to this level looks pretty logical. And then if you can get the break, then you should be in for a move back to the low. But yeah, dollar CAD, I do like the downside. As I said, I'm really bearish on USD. So all these USD pairs, Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, I still do see more upside for them. They could go for corrections, don't get me wrong. We might see some dollar strength come into the market and they could see 2, 3, 4 bearish days and some downside. And for me, that would just be an opportunity to buy them back up. But yeah, I'm very much just looking at opportunities that favor dollar weakness at the time. Until anything drastically changes, that will be the bias. So yeah, dollar CAD downside I like. In terms of GJ giving us a lot of pain, a lot of headaches here. So I've re-entered the position which I was in yesterday. I'm using a really, really big stop loss. I think this is probably the biggest stop loss I've ever traded with, to be honest. 465 pips, believe it or not. I don't think I've ever had a stop loss that big. But of course, with using a big stop loss, you have to lower the position size because you don't want to be losing, 5 times more than you normally do. So have to reduce the positions, the position size of the trade. But of course, the targets do make up for that. You're looking at 1,200 pips roughly to the downside, back to more or less the 180 region, and that's been the goal of Pound Yen since the start of the week. And we're looking for Pound Yen to get here. It looks like he just wanted to do a massive fake out to stop out a lot of traders, including myself, before we get that rejection. Of course, Bank of Japan playing its role in that. But the key thing I'm looking at is that we've wiped out all liquidity above that, and now we're seeing a real strong impulsive candle, a lot of conviction in there. So that's kind of like a statement to me that price has now swept the highs, now we're ready to turn around. So of course, with such a big candle, there'll probably be some intraday retracements. So people in the intraday timeframes could probably make use of some pullbacks to some areas maybe before we do continue, and there'll probably be some lower time frame pullbacks on the way down as well. So that could be something you're looking for, because I know a lot of people won't be so keen on a almost a 500 pip stop loss, and I understand why. But yeah, that's the idea. And again, it's the same idea at the start of the week, and all the yen pairs have pretty much done the same thing. Some more than others, but we've all had pretty big reactions. As I spoke about Aussie yen, as we got to this high, looking for some shorts. I've just been sticking with GJ. That's been my pair. And again, all the yen pairs will probably do the same thing as well. But yeah, I'm expecting the yen pairs to really continue that bearish trend that we had in July, this big move here. For me, this is kind of like a pause in that before continuation. And GJ so far looked the cleanest. Maybe not the best risk reward, but since I've been trading it all week, I just want to stick with it for now. And yeah, looking for a push into 180, but a really nasty move. But I actually like it, to be honest. Even though it did take me out of my original position, I like it because it would have taken out a lot of people. And now the way we reacted, it looks like we put in that lower high. So yeah, I'm going to see how that one goes. But it hasn't been fun. I'm not going to be honest. It hasn't been fun. Okay. I'll go through Euro Yen as well. I think FX Wolf, you said you're looking to trade that. Holy One got into dollar CAD, sell at 10.45. Oh, right at the end of the day there. Before spreads open up, got alert 6 a.m. saying you need to monitor the trade. Hasn't come down yet. Okay. Yeah, dollar CAD still kind of just dancing there. But as I just said, I do think dollar CAD can have a nice move down, especially if it holds into that level. Okay, out the oil position. Okay. Possible retest 68. Gonna take the day off after stream. Okay, fair enough. Had a good week of profit so far. Can't knock it. If you have a good week, not the worst idea to sit in the profits and not give them back. We touched a lot on that yesterday about making sure you protect your profits and don't give them back so easily. But yeah, it's Friday. We've got some news coming out, but I'm not expecting anything crazy today anyway. So taking a long weekend is not the worst idea in the world. What's up, man? Zondi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Holy One, GJ, respect to the H450. Oh no. I mean, again, the thing for me is that price is still at the same level. So as long as price remains that, I'm looking for my entries. Of course, waiting for the 50 will give you that more protected entry because you know price is now below the 50. I'm expecting it to break below. Of course, if it doesn't, we'll see price push up anyway. Okay, entered 1 hour ago, still exactly at the level you mentioned, level marked out. Yeah, I like it. I like dollar CAD from that area. I think intraday looks good, at least back to the lower end of that range on the hourly chart, around 1.346-ish. I think we're looking good for a move to that area. And then, I mean, I expect a lot more downside, but I'm just thinking in terms of trading. You know, this is an area where price may come in and go back against you. So, you know, securing some gains there makes sense. But if I was looking to swing it, I'll be looking at that low as well. Maybe looking at going break even if we can get the break of that area. But yeah, I like dollar CAD shorts. Tom, what is up? In your own opinion, what do you think is better, fixed TPs or trading stop loss? I think after using trading stop loss for a while and using take profits for a while, I think the best is actually a bit of both. But I'd say it depends where you are in your trading and how much time you've got in your hands, because trading stop loss does require a bit more time, especially if you're intraday, because you have to keep up to date with the price action. But really, trading stop loss versus fixed stop loss, it just depends on market conditions. If the market is very choppy and not trending very well, then I think fixed take profits makes the most sense, because if the market is just going to revert back on itself all the time, why would you trail anyway? It doesn't make any sense. But if you've got a trending market, like for example, you're trading gold, for example, or some of the yen pairs, then it makes sense to trail, because these guys can really run and really bank you a big trade. So I think the answer to that question is understanding what condition the market is on and then deploying that, whether it's a fixed take profit because the market is just very choppy and it's bouncing off levels of support resistance back and forth, then a fixed take profit makes the most sense. But if you're trading something trending and you really want to make the most of it, then trading on average will produce better results. So it's actually a bit of both, but the key thing is the market conditions. Ben, NZD looks decent for a short. Okay, we'll discuss NZD USD as well. Solid bearish close. Dollar still looks shaky, though. It's put me off. Yeah, I'll take a look at the DXY. I haven't been a big fan of it. It's just been all over the shop. Yeah, I know. 2,000 pips is just 1 week. I know. That's the yen pairs for you. And that's why some people don't like trading, and I don't blame them. Because if you're not sensible, you can definitely punish yourself. Mess yourself up big time. Tony Gold, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Good morning. Bank of Japan really weren't feeling that monthly engulfing candle. Welcome to absolute violence. Yep. What's up, Antonio? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Yeah, I mean, Bank of Japan they're just playing around at this point in time, because I mean, it's always fun to wake up and just see absolute chaos in the markets. It's like, yeah, that's a great way to start the day. Anyway, we'll go through NZD/USD. Actually, I'll take a look at Euro Yen quickly, and then I'll go to NZD/USD. So Euro Yen, another yen pair, which of course has gone through a bit of chaos this morning. I'm expecting a lot more downside for all of the yen pairs. So I'm bearish across the board. Normally, when I create a buys, it's normally for the collective of a currency, and it's and its related markets. So with yen pairs, I'm very bearish in pretty much all of them. Some look better than others to trade, of course, but euro yen is one I'm expecting us to come back into 155. I'm actually looking at a really big head and shoulder pattern with the left, the head, and the right shoulder in this area. So I do expect us to eventually come back into the low, and I do expect us to eventually break through as well. Euro yen is another one on the higher time frames, which is just trading at a major high where I do think there's a lot of room for us to run into, at least for a retest of this area. This high here, I think we can at least come back and retest that, which is more or less around 149, 150 area as well. So in my book, longer term, there's a lot of room to the downside for us. So keeping that in the back of our heads for now. But on a more kind of intraday level, it's a bit awkward because, again, the best place to short euro yen, as I've been talking about all week, is definitely at the high here, or as close to that high as possible, because at that point we can get a decent stop loss above the high there, and the risk reward looks really good, of course, if you can get an entry right there. Now that the price has kind of already had such a big push down, price is kind of trading in the middle of this range here between the highs and the lows. So I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest with you, yen. I mean, I'm still pretty bearish. I still expect us to push into 155, 150 as well. But in terms of trading it, I'm not the biggest fan of where we are, because we're kind of just in the middle of this. So there's not like a significant level I can put my stop loss against. But I know you're intraday FX Wolf, so you'll be looking at probably some type of correction, maybe like this, and then maybe a retest of the low here. I'm not too sure what your exact setup will be, but maybe that's an idea you'll be looking at. This way you can refine that stop loss to a much more kind of expectable, reasonable stop loss, and look for something like that, which I think is still a nice opportunity intraday. But as a swing trader, I would like my, on the high time frames at least, I would like my entries closer to the 164 area. But I like this as well. Nice retest of the low here. And as I said, I'm really bearish in the yen pair, so I do expect this one to continue heading down. Maybe a bit of a correction because it was a pretty big drop. So something like that might make sense. Entries there. And yeah, expecting a push into 155. But yeah, expecting more of the same for euro yen as well. We'll go through USD next. CAD, Euro CAD, of course, we'll take a look, no problem. I've definitely missed out pair someone's requested. And if that is the case, drop it down in the chat. Casey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Amrit, welcome. Okay, we'll take a look at gold as well. Yeah, that's always a scary prospect, that. Ben, imagine you're scalping yen pairs and the Bank of Japan intervene just as you place your trade getting slip tail. Yeah, that's a nightmare, to be honest. That's always one of the risks of low time frame trading. If anything crazy was to happen in the market, especially with the yen pairs, which are quite prone to that, because you're using high lot sizes, because the tighter the stop loss, the higher the position size you can use. So if things don't go well and in a split second the market moves 200 pips, that could be very detrimental, very, very detrimental. So yeah, that's always a risk with yen, which you can't really get around, to be honest. Yeah, it's difficult to get around that completely because you don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, that's always a risk, I would say. So yeah, we'll go through USD. So again, USD, I'm really bullish on, but it's not really in bullish territory for me to look for any opportunities just yet. We've just about come back into the swing high over there around 0.635. So we've just gone and hit our heads on that level. So I've been discussing this level here as a really nice place for a long. If price is going to retrace there, fantastic. I'll be looking for some entries to try and catch that next high low. We've got the swing high there, swing low, new swing high. As long as we don't take out this low here, I'm looking for a big buy. And this is like the most reasonable area where that next high low could form and we could be on our way. I mean, maybe price doesn't want to have a pullback. Maybe you just want to break straight through. But that's the idea I'm looking at. If you're looking at sales for USD, then of course we're back at high, so it makes sense, and we very well could go and see that move. I'm not so interested with the sales because, as I said, I'm very bearish on USD. So any opportunity I look for on the dollar will just be in favor of dollar weakness. And that's kind of going to be my bias for a while. But of course, I'm not blind to see that this is a really nice level, and should we reject it again, could be a nice sell at some point in time. I think if you're looking to short, try and get stop loss above the high there. I'm not quite sold on this high. If price can push up again, respect that area. I think that would be a nice place for an entry and a stop loss above. And naturally, some targets around 0.622 with this big level here makes some sense as well, or even this low here. So I don't mind the shorts from 0.634 testing that big daily level. I think it makes sense if you're looking to short. That's of course bearish territory. But as a buyer, I'm waiting to see if price can push down first, and then hopefully find some buys at a later date. Just need to see if we can get that move. But that's kind of where I'm at with NZUSD. Same kind of thing with Aussie dollar as well. We're kind of in bearish territory, coming back into some major highs here. Sales look good, of course. We've had some really big rejections from this area. So, of course, there's a good chance price can see some downside. But I'm very much expecting a high low to form and a bigger move to still be to the upside, back to maybe 0.771, 0.7, 0.72 potentially. So this is the move I'm very much interested in catching. But in the meantime, some sales could look good. Of course, USD is being all over the shop. I have no idea what this one's doing as well. We broke back above the low, came back down to retest it again. We're bouncing there as well. So to me, it's not really clear what DXY is doing on a lower time frame, intraday basis, higher time frame. I'm very, very bearish on it. I'm looking for us to come into the low, but I'm unsure if we're going to push up first and then make the move, or it's going to just bleed straight through. And yeah, depending if we can break through that level or not, we'll paint that picture for us. But at the moment, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. I'm not a fan of the DXY. Really, it's not providing much clarity. Okay. What was that? Okay, we'll go through gold and EuroCAD as well. Just put an RSI and find divergence on dollar CAD, so another confirmation. Okay, looking good, looking good. Do you say you entered that dollar CAD from 10:45 yesterday? Says dollar and CAD are currently same strength. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense of why the market's kind of sideways. CHF tends to move in line with yen. Do you find this? Yes, I do find this. Maybe not to the same degree. I think yen is kind of Swiss on steroids a little bit, but effectively, they're kind of the same. They move in the same way. When yen is strong, Swiss is strong, and sometimes dollar as well, and vice versa. So yeah, you would expect to see Swiss pairs drop as well, and they have dropped a little bit. I looked at them this morning. Euro CHF, pretty big drop. I think Euro is the weakest out of them because Euro yen dropped the hardest, I think, out of all the yen pairs. So did Euro CHF. CAD CHF, bit of downside. Pound CHF, some downside there as well. Aussie CHF, some downside. New Zealand CHF, some downside. Of course, not to the same level, but CHF is, it does move the same way. FX Fiend, okay, I'll touch on Aussie dollar as well. I'll add that to the list. Tom, I haven't asked what's the main reason why yen's really moved big time with mission drop the. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not too sure if you can actually. I think there might be a setting in Discord that stops people dropping links, but you can try. If it doesn't work, I'll go and amend that on my end. But yeah, feel free to drop that link there. But if it doesn't work, let me know. Okay, 10:45 last night. Yeah, we've just been sideways since then pretty much. But again, I still expect us to fall as long as that level can hold. If it doesn't hold, then maybe dollar CAD's going to have a bigger retracement before we get that sell. CHF is JY's little bro. Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, I would say so. It is its little bro. It takes its time as well. But it does like to follow the big bro. Anyway, I'll go for EuroCAD, gold, I believe, and Aussie dollar. So EuroCAD, not a fan favorite of this market, I must say. It's just it has been very choppy as of late. I can't remember the last time it was in my watch list, but it has its moments, so I keep an eye out for it. It's been slowly pushing to the upside, but it has been struggling at the high here. So I'm wondering if we're going to go for a reversal here, because it is effectively a range. And if we're going to break out the range, I would have kind of expected us to have done that by now. So we may be going through potentially a bigger move lower. In terms of trading it, that's where it becomes a bit difficult, because the only place that kind of makes sense for a short kind of would be up here. I wouldn't look to try and get involved anywhere in the middle, because we've got strong support down there, strong resistance up there. Anything where price is in this area, I wouldn't look to go and trade personally, just because we've effectively got a range, and my kind of rule is don't trade a market that's in the middle of the range. There are some exceptions to that, but 90% of the time, I don't want to touch the market. So with EuroCAD, if I'm looking for buys, I still like the area 1.49. Stocks below that make the most sense, and looking to see if we can take it back to the highs. If we're looking for that reversal, and of course, a push back to the high would make the most sense, around 1.515. Some entries and stops above that area would make the most sense as well. As to what we're doing now, we're kind of ranging in the middle of the range. So that's just never really a good sign, really. We could break up, we could break down. I wouldn't really read too much into it. If you're really looking for an opportunity, then there could be something on the breakout of this and looking to trade it back to the high or the low. Say, for example, we do commit to the upside. It's probably a pretty good chance that we do push back to the high there. So that could be a nice intraday trade. Likewise to the downside, if we do break the low, a retest of the low of the range, there's a good chance we do make a push back down to the low at 1.49. So there could be some nice intraday opportunities there to trade that range on the breakout. But my advice is don't necessarily expect a clean move up. It might push up, but it could do something like this on the way up as well, because that's kind of the theme of the market. It's just very, very corrective. But naturally, if we do break the high, I'm probably going to push up there. Then we can discuss some sales at a later date. And of course, same thing with the buys as well. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the conditions. And if I'm looking to get involved personally, I want price to be up at the high or down at the low, so I can get some nice stops away from the chaos. Let me know your bias with EuroCAD, what you're looking for. I think because we're still failing to break the high here, I still do expect us to go through a big move down. But yeah, not the best place to short and capitalize on such a move just yet. We'll go through gold, and then we'll take a look at Aussie dollar as well. So with gold, just bullishness, I suppose. Haven't really been keeping an eye on gold, to be honest, because I know it's just so bullish. And unless it goes through a bigger retracement, there won't be an opportunity for me on the timeframes I'm looking at. So I haven't really been too focused. With the price action, these have been the two levels I've considered looking to buy. What happened there? These are the two levels I'd be considering to buy from, but yeah, the market just hasn't got that retest yet. I was looking for the retest of this area, came about 3/4 of the way. Unfortunately, didn't happen. And this level here, just kind of no real sign of a pullback yet. And even if we do, I highly doubt we'll see one to go all the way and retest that area. Probably come maybe halfway, find some support somewhere, maybe as we approach some of these areas on the left, and then use that as as support or as demand to take us higher up. So gold, I'm still very bullish. If you're looking at intraday opportunities, you probably find a bit more luck there in terms of opportunities there. I do like the buys as we do approach the low here, even the low down here as well, even this area here as well. If we're to pull back even into this level, I think that's a really nice place for a buy. At the moment, as we come into this area, this is kind of where I'll be positioned intraday to take it to the high. Oh, did not mean to do that. So something like this back to the high, and then again, looking to trail to see how far we can take it. But you can see we respected it once yesterday, coming back again, looking for that double bottom essentially, and a push back into the high. If it doesn't hold, then I'll look at this area here as another place to buy from, which is pretty much just a retest of the high and looking for the same thing. So that's how I would look to treat gold intraday. But yeah, still so bullish. I'd only be looking at buys, not interested in sells one bit, especially because of the current kind of condition the market is in. It's not a normal gold, it's an exponential gold. So I'll just be looking to buy until proven otherwise. Yeah, and my levels down there don't look likely to be tested anytime soon. So yeah, with gold, just more of the same, really, more of the same. Okay, so we'll take a look at Aussie dollar next. What do I think of China 50? Oh yeah, Nick mentioned that yesterday. I've never looked at that market before, but it was rocketing to the upside, and Nick was mentioning that was a big catalyst for gold being bullish as well. But yeah, I've never had a look at the market before yesterday. Holy One, Euroseat Chef took a huge drop this morning. Line went up for a buy. I let it slide until next week and see what the chart looks like. Okay, fair enough. Not already, but the drop was nice. Yeah, it was. Euro's just been so weak. I don't know why. It's been pretty weak all week. Okay, link is good. People can jump on Discord and read the article. Nice one, Tom. Appreciate it. Pavinator, what's up? Happy Friday. Right back at you. Aussie dollar is flying. You reckon it'll come back down for a corrective move? Okay, we'll discuss Aussie dollar next. Fair enough. We're convincing Holy One to finally join a Discord or a forum or a chat. Just out of interest, though. Just out of interest. But yeah, of course, it's more than welcome. I mean, you can just sit on the sidelines and just observe if you want to. No pressure. That's another bullish narrative for gold, and the Chinese love their gold. Yeah, Nick was explaining that yesterday. Excuse me. Hope that wasn't too loud. European indices are pumping to the moon, some with Hang Seng. What's that? Hang Seng. But we'll go through some indices. We'll take a look at a bunch of them. I haven't actually been keeping up to date with them. Yep, GJ will discuss as well. First, let me go through Aussie dollar because that was requested a while ago. So with Aussie dollar, actually, I did touch on this one briefly. With Aussie dollar, we have hit a massive high. I do expect a lot more upside, really, because I'm looking for kind of a reversal on the higher time frames. The monthly chart to me looks like it's slowly bottoming out. I do think there's a good chance we're going to push back to this area here pretty soon, probably by the end of the year, around 0.71. So in my book, there's a lot more upside to be had. I'm very bearish on USD anyway, so that feeds into the confluence, and hopefully that will help drive price higher. But at the moment, we're kind of banging our heads on a pretty sturdy resistance on the weekly chart, which of course, we've seen a lot of downside from. And it does look like a nice place for a short. I do expect us to retrace at some point. We had a lovely low down there, creates a new high low, and of course, at the moment, we're creating new highs. So if the market is going to retrace, this is a pretty sensible level to expect that retracement from. But yeah, as soon as we see a meaningful move down, I'm going to start to look for some entries to take this back to the upside, probably on the retest of the high like this. Or if you have a deeper correction, I'll probably look at some areas down there. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie dollar. In terms of the sales, again, as I said, I expect this just to be a retracement. I think the double top looks good. You can get stop loss above the high. It looks good as well. So yeah, I do think we can see a turning point. Even the move to the upside has been pretty corrective. It's not like we've been steamrolling to the upside. Price kind of found it a little bit difficult in this move here. So I do think we can go through that correction, but I'm just going to be focusing my time on the buys here, really. So I'm not going to be entertaining any sells, but I do think this is a nice place for a sell. So yeah, I do think we can see some retracement, and if we do, great, because that's what I want to see, really, because I want to buy it up. I don't want price to break straight through, because that means I might not see the pullback I'm after. So if it does retrace, that's good for me and the sellers as well. And hopefully I can find some buyers around 0.68, 675 to find that higher low. But we're having a hard time breaking through. So as long as we can keep that up, it looks like a nice sell. And USD, I prefer Aussie dollar shorts because Aussie dollar is right back at the high, and I can just put a nice little stop above that. New Zealand dollar, it's not quite there yet. I wouldn't want to put a stop there. It's not in a significant area enough for me. So if I was going to look to short one of them, it would be Aussie dollar if I had to. But yeah, I do think we can see some retracement, but I'm expecting a lot more upside in the near future. And that's the same across the board. Euro USD more upside, pound USD more upside, USD CAD more downside. The Aussie CHF's the only one where, I mean, I expect more downside, but I wouldn't look to trade it because we're right back at the low. You know, this is not bearish territory for me at all. I need dollar CHF to have pushed up first, then I can consider some shorts, but I'm not going to be selling into that big old level there. So dollar CHF is kind of the only dollar pair which I'm completely not interested in. Maybe dollar CAD as well, just because there are other better dollar pairs to look at. And then, of course, gold and silver just being gold and silver. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie dollar. We'll take a look at some CHF pairs because I'm interested in a couple of them as well. And we'll go through some indices too. Okay, we'll discuss GJ quickly. China, GJ, did you die? Indeed, it did. Indeed, it did. It did me very, very dirty, but hopefully I'll get the last laugh because I have re-entered the trade. I have re-entered the trade with a very, very big stop loss, but the target is equally as big, 1,200 pips as well. So I've gone in for another entry. That move there is what took me out the trade. And to be honest, if I didn't take that trade, I'll be very, very happy with this position because it's gone and done what GJ kind of needed to do, which is going to take some liquidity above the high, stop out a bunch of traders, include myself. And now it's kind of giving a really impulsive move to the downside, which kind of tell me that, okay, we've done our job, we've taken out traders, and now we're ready to, continue that move to the downside. So I'm really liking the opportunity. On my end, it looks like I probably just mistimed the market a little bit with my previous entries, but hopefully this time we can see that continuation. Again, the idea is still at play, which is I'm not expecting price to break past this area. Of course, disregarding fake outs, but the aim of my expectation of the market is that we're not breaking through here. This is going to be the next top, and I'm going to be expecting a new low at some point here as well. So that's very much what I'm expecting here with GJ. Just maybe I got into the market a little bit too early, unfortunately. So yeah, it definitely did me dirty, but hopefully we can get the last laugh with a continuation lower. I'm still very bearish across the board for all of these yen pairs. To be honest, when I woke up this morning, I saw the yen pairs doing what they were doing. I was like, okay, I've been stopped out on GJ, but there's a nice opportunity coming with the yen pairs, and I can just literally pick and choose which one to trade, really, because I'm expecting all of them to push down. Aussie yen look really good as well. And actually, from a risk to reward perspective, it probably made a bit more sense for me to trade Aussie yen shorts. Looking for the same entry, stops above the high, and looking to target the lows there. So it probably made a bit more sense to go for that one, but because I've just been trading GJ, I thought, let me just stay with GJ and see that through. So I've just entered on that candlestick closure at 10 o'clock. But yeah, I'm expecting the yen pairs to see some follow through now. And if the yen pairs still push on and go and take the high, then yeah, I was definitely wrong about that bias. And at that point, I won't be looking to short the market anymore. So yeah, that's my take on GJ. But yeah, that's the thing with the yen pairs. They're very, very volatile, especially when the Bank of Japan intervening like that, which could definitely put some people off. But I've been trading the yen pairs for years. So I give them the respect they're due, but it's just another currency market to me. Okay, we'll go take a look at some CHF pairs and then some indices. Do I trade weekends at all? No. Yeah, weekends are for resting and prepping for the next week. Because yeah, I like having that break between the live markets are closed, and then the markets are open again, because it makes kind of everything put into perspective. Because when the markets are moving, you're kind of a bit you're looking at opportunities, you're managing trades. It's a different type of view than when you're on this weekend and you're not trading at all. Markets are closed, you can't do anything. That's when you're kind of cool-headed and you can look back at stuff. So I like having that break from the markets when things are closed. Of course, you can go jump on crypto if you really want to trade, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of weekends. But each their own. Revenge on GJ unfinished business, 100%. That's exactly what it is. Maybe it's an element of revenge trading, to be honest. Maybe it's a type of revenge trading. Yeah, I mean, again, it still fits the plan, so that's the key thing. It ticks all my boxes, so that's the key thing. But the reason why I chose GJ rather than AJ or New Zealand yen is probably a bit of a revenge. So yeah, caught me red-handed there. Anywho, we'll go through some CHF pairs. So CHF, as we just briefly discussed, they tend to move similar to yen. When yen is strong, Swiss is strong. When yen is weak, Swiss is weak, and vice versa. But yen is probably the harder hitter. But you can see in July we had a really big sell-off as well, just like the yen pairs. We had a huge sell-off there, and the yen pairs did the exact same thing as well. Big tank. We went through a big meltdown there as well. So they're very, very similar. If you're shorting pound yen, there's no point in jumping to pound CHF as well, because they'll probably do the same thing. So pound CHF, another CHF pair which looks like a good sell. Still respecting this area here at 1.132, and I'm expecting price to push back into that area there at least. Maybe we do push up from there. Maybe we do break through. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I do expect to see some downsides for pound CHF. I think most CHF pairs in some nice places for some shorts. Aussie CHF, not quite for me. I was talking about this low here where I want to sell from. I'm still looking at this as being a big impulse. I'm looking at a low high for that. So this is kind of the area I want to short from. We just about broke through this high here. So I wonder if we're going to break back inside or we're going to go and retest it. I'm not too sure yet, but that's kind of where I want to position myself short. Something like that. And then some downside. Again, I'll just be trading to see how far we can take it, but the risk short looks pretty good. New Zealand CHF, I'm looking for price to get all the way up here. So this one's kind of nowhere near its level for me, but if we can get there, fantastic. That's why I'll be looking for some entries to take the shorts. Again, it's pretty much the same traders as Aussie CHF, but New Zealand is a little bit further away. So yeah, with the CHF pairs, I like the shorts. CAD CHF kind of not trading at anywhere significant for me. If price was at the high there, I can look at some shorts there, but not at current price. Euro CHF looks like it's struggled to break through that low. A lot of rejection there. And maybe we're going to see a bit of a downtrend form now. So yeah, again, the CHF does have that room to the downside, just like the yen pairs, but I think the yens are a better sell. Gold, where do we buy? Isn't that the question, Jonah? I'll go and touch on gold in a moment. And some indices as well before I forget. It's funny because we've always been Forex traders. True, we exchange money when we go on holiday and trading Forex subconsciously. Yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, now we do it full time. That is a weird one. We've always been Forex traders. Converting your pounds to euros, your euros to dollars, vice versa. Okay, don't trade weekends either. Don't like the spreads in the crypto either. Ethereum is very strange. Massive lot size to even make money because the pairs are weird. Yeah, I've never really looked to trade cryptos actively, even during the week. I've had my fun. I've had some experimentations, but I've never done it seriously and consistently before. So yeah, I'm not really looking to trade cryptos just yet. Maybe at some point I will. Ban rate conviction that many would back in the second time of my third, but the plan's still intact. You follow it, man. I respect that. Appreciate it. I mean, that's the the goal at the end of the day, because I always say, when you're trading and things are going very well, it's always easy to stick to the plan. If things are going well, you're in a really good spot in trading. It's always easy to stick to your plan and stay relatively consistent, because things are going well while you change it. But when things are not going well and you're taking a couple losses, it's very easy to second guess things and not stay consistent. And that's kind of what, in my opinion, separates a lot of unprofitable traders from profitable traders. Is the consistency during the times of drawdown. And yeah, I mean, again, getting stopped out a couple of times does hurt. But if you focus on the consistency and focus on that, each trade you take is just a probability. It's nothing more than that. You got your stop for a reason, target for a reason. As long as it fits the plan, you go for it. All right, no problem. We'll have a good one, my man. Take care. Really appreciate the streams. Love to hear it. Have a good weekend, everyone. You too, Will. And congrats on the oil position. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And make sure you do go and hit the bell if you haven't done so already as well, so you don't miss on any streams or uploads in the future. See how well the spread is literally about 700 pips. Very, very true. They've got to make their money somehow. I mean, maybe not that much, but they do have to take their slice of the cake as well. Thoughts on silver? Okay, we'll discuss silver, Antonio. No problem. When are you transitioning over to add USD to your watch list? Probably, hopefully, starting next month actually, because I'm pretty much done with the back testing. So now I'm kind of moving on to the phase of slowly trading it consistently. So trading it with taking it less risk than I normally do. Probably I'll start half of the risk. I normally trade with FX pairs, and then if I find some nice confidence with it, then I'll look to add it and just completely go for it. Because with US30, although I'm using the same techniques I do with Forex, I'm going to be a bit more aggressive with positions with US30 because I don't always get the pullbacks that I do on Forex. So if I'm always going to wait for that pullback, I'll miss a lot of opportunities. So the kind of style I'm looking at is a bit more aggressive, still looking at the same level of support resistance and market structure, but I'll be taking a bit more aggressive entries on US30 and really looking to maximize my risk reward from trading stops. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, looking for October when I'll start. But yeah, I finished the back testing. So I'll probably be saying goodbye to Aussie New Zealand dollar, to be honest, because yeah, it's just not really a great pair for me. Again, it does have its opportunities, and if you look at mean reversion a lot, it can be a nice pair to trade, sell high, buy low. But if you're looking at trending markets, this is just not a trending market, so you're not going to have fun with this, at least most of the time. There's some brief trends here and there, but not consistently. Anyway, we'll go through. Someone asked about gold. Yeah, gold, again, you're just looking for lower time frame corrections, and you're looking to keep those buys at it, really. I've mentioned this area here around 2650. I think that's a really nice place for a buy, and looking for price to come back into the high there as well. So if I was looking at intraday, I would be looking at some confirmations probably in the 15 to really maximize that risk reward and see if I can get a push back to the high and see if we can start trading as well. But to me, gold's looking really bullish. That to me looks like a nice place for an entry. If that fails, then I'll look at this area for a buy as well, where we had a brief kind of stop and a big breakout, 26.38. That to me looks like a sensible place for a buy as well. But yeah, I would be looking at targeting the highs there for gold. In terms of silver, whilst we're on the topic of gold as well, silver, I'm looking for buys as well, but this one's a bit more difficult to trade because silver, we are banging our heads on a pretty big level here. So I'm kind of waiting for us to break and then look for opportunities on the retest, unless we go through a bigger retracement. In that case, I'll look for a retest of the high here, but I'm not a big fan of that really because we've had such a big correction from this area. I'm not really looking for price to go through that again. I kind of want to see silver make a statement, break the high, and then yeah, just kind of expecting more upside, similar to gold. But at the moment, we're kind of failing at the high there, so not the best signs. But if we can get a bigger pullback to, let's say, 30, that to me looks like a nice place to position some long stops below and see if we can take it back to 32.5 and maybe beyond that as well. But this to me is definitely my preferred opportunity on the retest of that area there. But yeah, very, very bullish in silver. Just this one's lagging behind gold a little bit. It's got some resistance it needs to break. And if we can do that, great. Looking at some opportunities on the retest of that on the 4 hour there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with silver as well. Let me know your bias, your thoughts on silver. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. I keep saying that, but I have the feeling that I have. Anyway, what's up, Blessing? Okay, UJ, we'll take a look as well. If you can trade US 30, you can do all the indices harder than NAS. Okay, I didn't know that. US 30 is harder than NAS and S&P. I mean, again, the plan is to add US 30 so I can add NAS and S&P. The experiment is to start trading US 30 to get me up to speed with trading indices, and then I'll look to incorporate more. And it will probably just be NAS and S&P for now. Maybe look at the DAX. Not really so keen on the FTSE, to be honest, but because US 30, NAS, S&P are very correlated as well, so kind of makes my analysis pretty simple for all those three. Create a bias for kind of all of them and just look for the better market trade. But US 30 is the testing one. Pound euro exchange rate 1.2, but when you change money, it's 1.17. 300 pip slippage on the holiday trade. Yeah, they've got to take their slice of the cake as well. To be fair, I didn't do that last time. I should look at the exchange rate on my charts before I exchange money. I actually thought to do that before. Will I eventually trade stocks? No. That's a different kettle of fish. That's a different kettle of fish. Yeah, I don't think I'll look trade stocks at all. As long as FX around, I like my FX. Indices, looking at gold and silver and indices is kind of like me looking to broaden my horizon, making sure that I've got more than one trick in the bag. But yeah, I think stocks, yeah, I don't see myself ever going to stocks unless I have to for some unforeseen reason. I highly doubt I would ever do that. Anyway, we'll go take a look at UJ and then we'll go through some indices as well. See what US 30 is cooking up these days. So yeah, with UJ, again, another big push to the downside, another yen pair going through some theatrics this morning. Again, we were talking about a short from 147. A lot of these yen pairs have hit those levels I've mentioned on the weekend and the start of the week. They've kind of just come into those levels abruptly and then just turned around very aggressively. So it's just been difficult to trade them unless you're willing to have a big stop loss or set orders from early in the week. It's always difficult to catch these moves when Bank of Japan have their fun. But intraday, if we can get some pullbacks, I think there could be some nice opportunities here. Similar to what I was speaking about with Euro Yen, possibly a retest of that low could look like a nice place for an entry, maybe on the hourly 30-minute, something like that. Stops above, depending on the entry you get. But the goal is I'm expecting dollar yen to move back into the low. If I just move this quickly, I'm looking for price to eventually, can't draw now. I'm looking for price to eventually break through this and continue lower. I'm looking at kind of like a big head and shoulder pattern. And this would have been the area which I would look to short from. If I wasn't focused on GJ and we actually had a better entry. But now that we have seen that reaction, yeah, I'm expecting us to push down. You can even see how corrective the move is as well. We're pushing up. We weren't really pushing up. We weren't really flying, especially after coming off such a big low like this one, which gave such a big move up. All we had was just a very small corrected move. So this was a sign saying that, okay, we probably weren't going to push forever. Probably going to put a top in at some point and continue down. So yeah, for UJ, I'll be looking at some intraday corrections, something like that, around 144. And then, looking to target at least some of these lows on the left. But I do expect us to get back down to that low at 140. So more downside for dollar yen. And if USD is also going to break low as well, the DXY is going to break lower, that could really help out dollar yen. In fact, dollar yen might be one of the better currencies, better yen pairs to trade, actually, if DXY does break down, because then yes, you've got a weak USD as well. So that might make dollar yen a smoother market to trade, but yeah, I expect it to go down anyway. Okay, so we'll take a look at some of the indices. So US 30. So yeah, this one's just, again, not really at a place where I'm looking to trade it, because when I look to incorporate US 30 in my trading, it will be from a swing point of view. I won't be looking to do any intraday trades. I'll be looking to try and catch these lows here. That's what I'm planning to try and do. Doesn't necessarily always have to be at the bottom. I might look for opportunities above it, but with US 30, you don't always get the pullbacks and the retests like you do in FX, or as much as you would do in FX. So I'll be looking to try and catch the lows here. So very much with US 30, I'm looking for that next correction for that next big buy. That will be my plan for US 30. But at the moment, we're just kind of, trading in this ascending channel, and we're right up against the upper limits of this. So I do expect us to go for a retracement at some point. Am I looking to short that? Absolutely not. I can understand looking to short it because you're expecting that retracement, but that's just not a trade that I'm willing to take. But if you can go through that correction, fantastic. You can look for some areas for a buy. I've pointed out the retest of the high here is a sensible place for a long. Even the retest of this area looks decent to me as well. An area where we could see that high low form and a push up as well. But yeah, I'm just not interested in the shorts, and I wouldn't look to buy it now either as we approach the high. Maybe if we see a solid break, and we should move this out of the way. Maybe if we see a solid break above that, some intraday buys could look good above that, but we're just in that area in the daily chart where I do expect that retracement to come through. So even if you do take some buys intraday, not expecting it to go too far. It could do, because we're in that bullish climate, but we're in an area where a retracement is pretty likely as well. So got to take that into consideration. But yeah, US 30, I'm still bullish. Market's still creating higher highs and higher lows. So naturally just finding opportunities for some buys. Those two areas look like really nice places for some longs, 41,500 and 41,150. Just a waiting game to see if we can get there. NAS, last time I looked at this one, was looking really bullish. Yeah, it is. In fact, NAS is probably the better one to trade, actually. I like a retest of that high there and a continuation back to the all-time high at 2,700. That's what I'm expecting NAS to get to. Because if you look at NAS, if you look at US 30, look at S&P. S&P's at all-time highs. NAS is nowhere near all-time highs. US 30 is at all-time highs. So I think NAS is the odd one out and is likely to catch up with those other two indices. So I think if you're looking to take some buys on NAS, you've got a great upside potential, a lot of room to cover if we do get back to the highs. We've just broken through pretty strong level here at 19,800, which of course will now be acting as support. If we can get a retest of that, that to me looks like a great place for an entry, for a stop loss as well, and some buys. I mean, I did also mark out this area here as an area to look at intraday as well, because we might not get the retest bang on the money. So we might be using that intraday. But if you do come back down, that looks like a nice opportunity on the 4 hour. Some entries there. And yeah, looking to take it back to where we came from. But yeah, really bullish on NAS. Really bullish. Subjective, but US30 has a weirder mix of companies, so it doesn't trend this smooth. Price action weight is still good though. Well, I guess if I can trade US30 well, or have some luck with US30, that means should be simpler to trade S&P and NAS. But I've been working on US30 for probably about 5 months, where I've been actively backtesting, I'd probably say. So yeah, I've been spending some time to get used to it, because I've looked at US30, looked at indices for the past kind of 3-4 years, pretty much as I've started streaming on YouTube. I wasn't really looking at the US indices or kind of end indices really, when it was just me, myself, and I. But when I started streaming and started looking at gold and silver, started looking at indices, started looking at crypto, before it was just FX majors and minors. So I've been used to the price action. I've looked at it a while, but in terms of actually trading, it's a little bit different, especially with the way I've traded FX for all these years. I'm always looking at pullbacks and retests. And that's the one thing I've noticed with US30 at least, is that they're less frequent. And US30 goes through those big moves, and it just has kind of minor corrections intraday. And so with my style, I can miss out on pretty big moves, especially with me being more of a longer term swing trader as well. So yeah, had to make some amendments to that. But if US30 goes well, I'll quickly look to add NAS and S&P too. Stocks like chaos, got to scan through 100 charts. Yeah. And there's fundamentals kind of affect stocks a little bit more as well. For example, if you're trading a particular stock of a particular company, and the CEO takes a fart, the stocks could change drastically based on that as well. With FX, a lot needs to happen for it to move. Even an interest rate doesn't move the market too much, which is kind of the biggest event really for a currency. So they're a lot more stable. They're really nice to trade, long term, intraday as well. Stocks, there's a lot more elements to take into consideration other than just price action as well. I mean, you can use just price action, but you have to be aware of other stuff too. You can trade McDonald's, it's endless. Yeah, I mean, there's so much things you can trade, so much things. Of course. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I'll look to incorporate UK 100 in my list. I think I'll probably just stop at NAS, US30, and S&P. Maybe I might entertain DAX some later date, but I need to get used to those three first anyway. But I've looked at DAX; it has some nice moments too. Yeah, that's probably why it doesn't trend so well. Good point there with FTSE, because it has its moments where it consolidates a lot. And again, the main reason why I wanted to look to trade indices and add it to my watch list is because of the big moves it has. I've been looking at US30, S&P, Look at some of these moves, humongous moves, which you don't see regularly on FX. You see on gold, of course, gold and silver, but FX, these big monster moves here don't happen frequently, and they happen a lot more frequently on the indices, or at least the US indices anyway. So that's what really attracted me towards, because especially if you're using trail stop loss, you can catch some really big trades here. So looking at UK 100, which is a bit more flat, it's not really serving the purpose I want it to serve. It has its moments as well, but you can see it's just very, very corrective, and it takes its time to get going. So I don't really see myself looking to trade this, to be honest, because you might as well just trade an FX pair, to be honest. Might as well trade AUDNZD. So yeah, US indices look good. I'll look to see how it goes, but I don't think I'll look to add UK 100 again. I trade a wide range of pairs anyway, so I'm just looking to trade the best opportunity that's available to me. It might come in an indice now, it might come in gold, it might come on a Forex major, Forex minor, but I'm just looking at the best opportunity I can find. Like DAX trade yesterday bought the highest high. After that is nowhere to go, but still going higher. Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about them, because with the indices, it's kind of like the only way is up. The only way is up. With FX, it's kind of both ways. Gold, the only way is kind of up as well. I mean, it definitely is up, but it will go through some long periods of retracement, consolidation. But indices, these guys just keep flying higher and higher and higher. So in terms of trading them, especially with someone like me who just kind of uses higher time frames to create a bias, it just simplifies everything, because I understand that, okay, indices, they're kind of just destined to go up. Of course, unless something crazy happens, they're destined to go up. So a higher time frame bias is just pretty much, clear, easy to interpret. And then it just becomes, okay, finding entries and finding areas to put a stop loss and managing the trade. But yeah, as we can see, DAX is going off on one, and this is where trading stop loss just comes really in handy, because you just kind of see how far we can take it. So yeah, that's why I'm looking to add the indices, because of their just upside and potentials a lot. Even the sells as well, when they do have some nice sells, they do pack a punch as well. Really nice move down. So yeah, I don't mind the DAX. I'll probably look to add it at some point, but really healthy price action there. How is GJ doing? Still more or less at the entry. Yeah, this is going to take its while. But the thing is with the sales of the yen pairs is they're normally pretty quick if you're in the right direction. They don't normally, they could consolidate a little bit, but they normally get going. It normally takes longer for us to go up than us coming down historically. So I'm expecting us to really pick up some momentum at some point. I can understand price being a bit slow now because after such a big drop, I'm expecting price to, to correct and maybe retest some areas intraday as well. So you need to give it its time to breathe, but yeah, we're going to see how this one goes. Hopefully third time lucky. Third time lucky. But yeah, it's been a hectic one with GJ, I must say. But if the risk reward plays out, I'll make back the loss and then some, and then it will become worthwhile. Your personal vendetta with Aussie New Zealand dollar. I think I do. I don't even trade it much, so it's not like it's done me wrong in the past. It's just I just don't get many opportunities with it. Holy One, why trade US 30 just trades Euro 10 lots? It works the same. Of course, in terms of the Duracell keeps going. I mean, that should be a decent advert. That, of course, in terms of the profits, depending on the position size, it can just be the exact same profits. Like you're finding that out with intraday trades. Just up in the lot size, smaller stops, making the same profit with a shorter distance. It's just with the US 30, especially in my case, because I'm looking to kind of swing for the longer term. in terms of trading stops, it just makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense with how they trend. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And hopefully maybe by the end of the year, I could look to add NAS and S&P. Of course, I've been very busy with elevating traders. So if I wasn't going through that, I probably would have started trading US 30 by now. Speaking of elevating traders, make sure you are in the Discord. It's completely free to join. That is at the top of the chat. Cannot miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there when we launch, which is very, very soon. So do keep an eye out for that. I think I'll just be keeping a close eye on these weekly candle closes now, because of course it's Friday, so we're coming to the end of the week. So I do like taking a look at some of these weekly candle closures. Again, it's interesting for the yen pairs, because we were so bullish last week. I remember we were discussing the bullish engulfing candle. And then this week, this is GJ. Of course, we still got 10 hours before the candle closes, so things can change. But more or less, we're just leaving a big wick to the upside, which I do like. I do like a lot, because it says to me that all of this momentum from last week has kind of just dissipated. It's no longer there. And you've got a doji, because a doji represents indecision. So although we had a lot of bullish momentum last week, that momentum has now gone away. So hopefully next week we can get a nice bearish candle pushing right back down. Of course, that would be the best case scenario, but at least that bullish momentum is not there anymore. It's not like we're seeing another strong close up here. That makes things really awkward. But the doji candle, if that can close bearish as well, that'd be really great. But if it can close at least as a doji, that to me is a really healthy sign that we're topping out here and we could sell off next week. And again, a lot of these other yen pairs are giving us similar candlesticks. You can see the weekly there as well. Nice pin bar there, or shooting star candlestick pattern there. Aussie yen, that one as well. Nice wick to the upside, momentum dissipating. Not quite a doji, but at least I like the wick there. We tried to break the high, failed to do so. If that can sustain, there's a good chance we see a bearish week next week. New Zealand yen as well. Lovely wick there to the upside. Again, not looking as good as GJ, but I'm liking the wicks. We can roll over from that. Of course, GJ we just spoke about. Euro yen, not as great. I like this wick to be piercing through, not just testing the low. If this wick was like above here, that'd be really great. But it's still essentially holding. CAD yen as well would be nice if the wick kind of pierced through, but it's showing some nice rejection. So I'm liking the weekly candle closure. Say, of course, we still got quite a few hours left before it does close, but if we can look somewhat how we're looking now, that would be a real green flag holding the trade over the weekend into the new week. Dollar pairs, Euro USD is looking like a doji, pound a little bit bullish, New Zealand dollar pretty bullish, dollar CAD pretty bearish, Aussie pretty bearish there as well. And that just leaves behind some really nice levels for some buys there. Gold bullish, silver bullish as well. Haven't really spoken much about some of the cross pairs because they just haven't been as interesting as the yen or dollar. And then CHF, seeing some rejection. How's dollar looking? Yeah, just a small bearish candle there. I think we got some news this afternoon for dollar, if I'm not mistaken. I think we've got like is it PCE or was that yesterday? Yeah, we do have PCE. And also GDP for CAD as well. So might see a bit of noise there, but yeah, just kind of very sluggish weeks for DXY. The past 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 weeks haven't done too much. Holy One, what's the larger account on ET? But just about to, yeah, largest we'll have is 100K. But our main focus is when traders show consistency, we'll look to reward them and we'll take back some rules. We can increase account sizes. All of that will be available to traders once they show consistency on the platform. But at the moment, we're 5K to 100K with account sizes. And I also like Swiss yen as well, but it's always just a bit awkward trading Swiss and yen as well, because as we just spoke about, Swiss and yen, Swiss and yen are very similar currencies. So if you're shorting Swiss against the yen, you're looking for one of them to be out, to out strengthen the other or out weaken the other, because both of them will probably be weak and strong at the same time. Of course, yen is far stronger, which is why we've seen such a big drop. But on average, they do kind of intertwine a lot more. So from a currency strength point, it might make the most sense, but I do like the PA here because this one is a really nice textbook head and shoulder pattern. We've got the left shoulder over here, head over there, right shoulder there. And of course, not the textbook break and retest of a neckline, but the key thing is that we're staying below these lower highs. So as long as we keep maintaining that, I do expect us to start breaking lower, get some retest somewhere. And I've got a really nice target for Swiss yen because over here was our previous all-time high for Swiss yen back in 1979, believe it or not. That was our previous all-time high. And recently, we've gone and broken past that. So I do expect us to come right back inside that range at some point in time. And yeah, that's where I do see the downside. That's where I do see the downside for Swiss yen. So I think this one is likely to push down. And now that we kind of put this head and shoulder pattern in, that for me is a big sign saying we're about to top out, expecting downside. So yeah, across the board, really, really bearish on these yen pairs. Still in heaven in 1979. So was I. I think most people would be on the stream, unless we only got any people above 45 on the stream. Can we look at JPYX? Sure thing. 1979, that was the year I passed my first prop firm challenge. Isn't that hilarious? 1979, mate, trading would be so different back then. Probably still calling people up to take a position. Hi, can I buy pound USD at 1.32 to take a trade? That's crazy, passing a challenge doing that at the same time as well. Born in 1983. Oh, okay, got some experience there early on, been around the block. Traders had to draw their own charts by hand. So they're more artists than traders at that point. Draw their own candlesticks. Yeah, that's true as well. They probably wouldn't have software where you can just implement a moving average. So you would have to probably do your own calculations, or maybe pay some crazy money for something to do that, a computer to do that. So yeah, it's a crazy world back then. I'm pretty sure if you take someone from 1979 and then put them in today's trading world, they'll be absolutely shocked about the ease of things and how anyone with $100 can just open a trading account and just begin trading right away. Let me take a look at the old Japanese basket. So yeah, okay, nice little rejection there off that low. I mean, that's of course what we've seen with the yen pairs across the board. But yeah, this is the low I'm expecting price to hold and now continue back to the high, because I'm essentially looking at this being a bottom. That's where my bias comes from. I'm calling that lower bottom, which is why I'm shorting GJ, because I'm calling that a top. So with the the JPY, I'm looking at that being a bottom. So this holding is very, very important, because if we start breaking below this, then it's probably not a bottom, and probably price is going to come back to the low here. So at that point, I'll scrap that bias and reanalyze. But for now, I'm looking for us to hold that low. I'm expecting us to come right back into the high here. And in fact, if it is a bottom, I'm expecting price to actually break through that as well and start a bullish trend in the opposite direction. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot from yen, but this to me does look like the characteristics of a bottom. So I'm expecting more upside. So yeah, really nice reaction there. Really big engulfing candle. I think we've got some resistance here to contend with, so that might push price down a little bit. Go for a bit of a pullback, but if you can break through that, hopefully we can see the yen pairs push on. But yeah, 1746, really crucial level for me, for my bias on the yen pairs. If that breaks, I have to reconsider things. I still watch really old trading documentary, less hype and APs then. I could imagine. I wonder if the old documentaries, see traders flashing AP just before they make the call to place a trade. That would be funny. Yeah, that's very true. Weren't even mobile phones back then. Wow. Messenger birds. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, the world's changed a lot. And again, that's just since the previous all-time high in Swiss yen. And that's where the conversation has come from, the previous high in all-time yen, 1979. Yeah, crazy stuff. And I do expect us to come right back inside that range as well. I think that's one of the benefits of TradingView as well. You can scroll back, ages. Getting data all the way back since the 70s is crazy as well. Very, very handy, very, very handy stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's been a mixed week. Not mixed week. It hasn't been the best week for me. Of course, we're shorting GJ twice and getting stopped out twice. I mean, I've got this third position, which could make up for it. But again, it's not going to do it instantly as well. If it's going to hit my take profit, it's going to take probably a couple of weeks. Maybe less if things really get going. But it's not going to be a short-term trade. We're looking for 1,200 pip move. Of course, in context with the market, it's maybe not the biggest move in the world, but 1,200 pips is nothing small. But I'm expecting the yen pairs all to go through that similar move there. I think my focus for next week is still looking for the shorts on the yen pairs. Of course, managing pound yen. I won't be looking to get into another yen pair until at least that is risk-free and well into profit. So I might not even get an opportunity because other yen pairs probably have moved by then. But my main focus will be managing GJ, looking to see if I can catch a buy on one of these dollar pairs, whether pound USD break and retest of the high there, whether a NZ USD break and retest of this level, whether Aussie dollar break and retest of this area. So something like that. I'll keep an eye on gold buys. I'm not too sure if I'll get it because it's been so bullish, but if we can get a meaningful correction there, I'm very much a buyer of gold. Silver, likewise as well. Breaking test of the high, fantastic. Eyeing up some buys there. Some of the crosses, the CAD crosses, not really doing much for me, to be honest. So I'm not going to bat an eyelid. Of course, I'll take a look at them during the weekend. But maybe pound CAD. I forgot about pound CAD just because we put that low in, so it doesn't look like we can get the retest. But if pound CAD does get the retest of that area, yeah, I would take a buy there. So maybe apart from pound CAD, USD not interested, pound NZD not interested, Euro Aussie no, pound Aussie no, Euro pound no, Aussie New Zealand dollar definitely no. CHF pairs, again, I'm probably not going to look to trade them, even though they're actually at some nice areas for some shorts, just because I'm tackling pound yen right now. It's a similar boat. Probably wait for that to get to break even before I look to get into another yen or a CHF currency pair. So yeah, that's kind of my task for next week. Manage pound yen and try and see if we can catch a high low on these dollar pairs. And of course, we're throwing pound CAD into the mix as well. How many trades a week do people take on average? I'm interested to find out. Of course, I know lower time frame trades will be more frequent. Old school bucket shops in 1920s. And we're getting really old school now. Oh wow, got banned from an all because he was rinsing them so much. Still need to read up about Jesse Livermore. I've done a bit of research, but I haven't done any proper reading. Currently looking at Aussie CAD. Okay. What are you doing with Aussie CAD? What are you doing with Aussie CAD? Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Aussie CAD at all. Let me know what you're doing with it, you're buying or selling, but I'm not a big fan of it in the slightest. Because again, direction is important to me before I can place trades and look for entries, look for opportunities. I need to understand the direction really clearly. Of course, I can still be wrong, but at least have a good gauge on what the market's trying to do. Right now, I have no idea what the market's trying to do, really, even from the top-down perspective. I can see a very slow short-term trend here. Maybe prices making a way back to the high here around 0.94. Possibly we might move into that level before a big sell. That could be the play. But there are just other pairs that are a lot cleaner than Aussie CAD, at least in my view, and for my trading style anyway. So that's why I'm not so focused on pound CAD. But I think if we can get to 0.94, there could be some nice shorts around that area. I think in the meantime, as we go and break this high, probably not the worst idea in the world. Looking for a buy in the retest there, trying to continue with those higher lows. Ooh. Looking for the next one. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Aussie CAD. Not the biggest fan. Maybe a retest of this one, which we kind of did yesterday. But yeah, this is a nice area, which if we can get to, reversals look good. So maybe something in there could look good. Some equal highs, breaker structure, maybe some nice sells later date. That might look good. But for now, I'm not really liking the bullish trend because it's just so corrective. It's not like we're moving smoothly. But yeah, 0.94 may be where price is moving towards. So looking at trying to catch those high lows on the way up. Looks like a nice bet. Okay, you're in a buy, stop loss 0.9207, take profit 0.9325, 9325, I guess around there-ish, so not too far. Stop loss 0.9 9207. Okay, stop loss is around here somewhere. So I assume you've entered more or less here. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good. It's looking good because momentum, it just broke through this daily high. So that's a a key characteristic in your favor. I think as long as price stays above that, should be in the money. If price starts breaking back below, you might get a bit choppy and stop loss will be a bit more vulnerable then. But if price can stay above this 0.926 area, you should be pretty well protected. And if price is going to push to 0.94, you would expect price to hit your take profit along the way. So I don't mind the buys. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the trend. It's not really showing a lot of conviction. But since we are trading above the high and you're in a buy there, your stop loss is underneath it, you're pretty protected. And if we're going to see the trend continue, then I would expect your take profit to be hit as well. I think probably some re-entries on the retest, or additional entries on the retest could look good as well. But yeah, not bad, not bad. I just don't like the condition of the market, so I would look to trade it, but it makes sense your trade. Okay, you trade whenever you see a valid setup, but no more trades than 3. Okay. Okay, so 15 alerts go off, no more than 3 running positions. Makes sense. I mean, again, that's the risk management coming in, because the eagerness of us traders. If 15 alerts go off, you're kind of thinking, maybe I should take all 15. Even if you were taking 1% risk per trade, you're still risking 15% of your account. If you take all 15, if you're taking 2% per position, you're looking at 30%. And if they all fail, it's a pretty big chunk to lose in one go. So yeah, I mean that's smart in terms of thinking about your exposure to the markets as well, and of course not having a lot of things to manage and look on by taking 3 trades at maximum. So yeah, I like that. For me, it's probably I don't necessarily have a maximum because I'm never in too many trades at once. But my rule is if I'm going to take a trade, it needs to be not correlated with the current trade I'm in. And if I am in a trade and it is correlated, that needs to be at least risk free before I can take the new trade. So that's kind of my rule. Oh wow, I did not know that. I think I'll go research into that afterwards. Okay, 1 or 2 a week max these days. Again, that's a healthy amount. You're not looking to put too much onto to your plate as well. As long as you're focusing on good opportunities, that's the most important thing. Yeah, don't like a confusion. Have 11 trades running is foolish from my perspective. Anyway, I very much agree. I very much agree. Because again, you want to treat trading as a business. If you're all over the shop and you have 10 trades running, you're not going to be very accurate with your decisions. If you're in this pair, in that market, it's not sustainable long run. Yes, I do have an open trade. I am in pound yen. Um, I've entered some shorts this morning at 10 a.m. UK time. On that candle close there. Yeah, really big stop loss, 465 pips to be exact. But I'm happy with the position. The risk reward makes sense as well. And at the area that I'm expecting price to hold, it is holding. So trade still valid, hopped in, stop loss above, or see how this one develops, but very bearish on these yen pairs. So I'm just going to see it out until I'm proven wrong. Wow. 1.5 billion in today's money and gave it all back. Damn, I didn't know that part of the story. Wow. You made it 3 times and lost it all every time. Damn. Damn. Yeah, that's an interesting read. Not just in terms of making the 1.5 bill or 100 million in those times, but losing it 3 times. That's insane as well. Yeah, I've never read. I've researched into him a while ago, but I've never read anything detailed, and I didn't know that he killed himself. Damn, that's pretty dark. I mean, yeah, that's the one side of trading that no one. I mean, people do speak about, but not a lot. There because of course we're managing finances here, and you make a wrong move, you can make some big mistakes, especially if you're kind of all in as well. With money you can't afford to lose. If you lose it, well, you can't afford to lose it. You're not going to be in a good place. if that's the case as well. So yeah, the key thing with trading, even just in terms of your performance, you'd be so much better off in trading if you're trading with money you can afford to lose. You'd be so much better off because your decisions will be a lot clearer. You won't be so emotional. If you're in a bit of drawdowns, like, oh no, I'm losing my money. Yes, you are, but it's not gonna. You're not gonna have to sell your house to make up for it. But yeah, there are some dark stories of trading. I'm not gonna lie. I think as long as you just make sure that your goal of trading is to be here in the next 10, 20 years, if that's your goal, you'll make the money along the way. But if you just be sustainable, you'll put yourself in the best place to thrive. Crank up the leverage for real. Yeah, I bet he was. I bet he was. By the sound of that, because of course, if you're gonna make big gains, if you're gonna make crazy gains in the market, you know the the reality is you have to be taking crazy risk. If you're going to make it, heaps of money, you're going to have to take heaps of risk. It's just it goes hand in hand. No one's going to make a big amount of money by taking small risk. Maybe relatively small risk if they have a huge account, but even that, they're still taking big risk as well. 1% of a billion is still a million. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if you're going to make big results, you can take big risk, and you have to be able to stomach that as well. But yeah, damn, wow. Trade. Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. Out the window during the 1921 crash, apparently. Isn't that what's it called? Is it like the Black 30s or something like that? I forget how they call it, but yeah. Yeah, I've been there before as well, Hollywood. Check the phone, see it's in red, day spoiled. Yeah. I've been there before as well. I'm pretty sure, most people on the stream, if not everyone, has been there as well, where you let trading kind of dictate your day as well. Um, not a great place to be in, and trading doesn't become very enjoyable either as well. It becomes more like a burden. If you're in the right and you're in the green and you see a positive trade, it's kind of like relief, and if it's in the red, it's like, oh, I'm here again. And if you're in that place, it's never fun to trade, or at least enjoyable anyway. Okay, you got trading through crypto. Okay, so I've always follow loads of crypto accounts on Twitter on there. Wow, damn. Yeah, that's really sad to be fair. Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, because again, I'm just here, trading. You don't really, think about that really. That trading can go wrong that big that someone could do that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty scary to be honest. It's pretty scary, but again, the best way to combat that is put yourself in a position where even if you do lose your account, you're not in a place where you could be experiencing something like that. And not only would you be in a better place for it, your trading will be better from it as well. You stop as much visiting your job center to get work. Of course, I think there's a common journey that all traders will go through. Um, thinking about giving up, um, looking at something else different, looking at drop shipping or something, Amazon FBA, and then you go, no, I'm gonna make trading work, I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, trading is something that does test you mentally, emotionally, test you a lot. I think it's a good thing because not only do you develop as a trader, but I think you develop as a person as well. Because you're going to have to overcome a lot of hurdles, which if you don't, you're not going to see the results you're after. So you have to overcome it. So I like that aspect as well because it helps in other areas of life. But yeah, if trading's not going well, it can be a really, really dark hole, especially because trading's a very solo thing. If you take a trade, you make a mistake, it's on you. There's no one else to come and save the day. It's on you, and you punish for it because you lose money as well. So it can be very unforgiving, and the market doesn't care at all about you either. You could make 50%, the market won't care. You could lose 50%, the market won't care either. Yeah, I agree. If you have gambling tendencies, you shouldn't get involved in trading. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, in one trade. Yeah, it can take everything, everything. And I don't know if this is a thing as of today, but I know a lot of brokers that before, you know, you can get slipped very, very badly, and you could actually end up owing the broker money. So, for example, if you had like, let's say, $1,000 in an account, and then you blow the account, but because maybe there was a really aggressive news that day that blew your account, you could actually be slipped negatively and have to, you might have lost $1,100. So you would have to owe the broker that $100 as well, on top of losing the 1,000 you had in your account, um, which is not great at all. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. Especially if you got a big audience as well, Ben. Anyway, you can. I'm Andrew. Still at the entry. Dollar CAD still just dancing around. Okay, it's pushed down a little bit. It's pushed down a little bit since we last spoke. It's looking a lot healthier. On the stream, we started speaking when dollar CAD was around here, starting to break down. So yeah, I think we can get a solid push into the low here, and that's probably when we see price start dancing. We do have some PCE news at 1:30, I believe. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. I think we've got CAD news as well, actually. Yeah, we've got GDP for CAD as well. So we've got dollar and CAD news. So that'll be interesting. But I think in terms of the technicals anyway, I would expect us to at least make our way back down to the low because that's kind of how we've been ranging. And then if you can get a solid break of that, push to the low looks good. Do you have targets for the trade, Holy One? Do you have an area where you're looking to secure some gains? I mean, I'll expect it to either be around there or around there in your case. But yeah, dollar CAD's pushing into a nice area. It's reacting pretty well, I'd say. And yeah, I'm just being very bearish on USD. So any market, I'm just expecting that to push. How is USD doing anyway? Okay, it's trying to break the low. Again, I need price to really commit to the downside, because even if we get like a close like here, because this candle's about to close in 6 minutes, if it closes there, doesn't really mean too much, really. I mean, the key takeaway really is that we're still forming these lower highs. So the market is still slowly progressing to the downside. And as long as we keep that up, we probably will just continue to break lower. But yeah, this support level is still kind of at play. So we need that to really break first, and then that's when the floodgates will open. And we can probably see that move back into 99.6. And that, of course, will help out dollar CAD to the downside as well, as long as CAD is not too weak too. But yeah, I do like the dollar CAD position. Slip negative. That broker ain't seeing me again. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I've definitely heard some stories like that in the past. Jonah, Mika, how do you keep your emotions in check? Good question. I think in terms of me now, it's very much due to my experience in the markets that my emotions are kept relatively at bay, and there's nothing wild to go and act upon something or revenge or fear of missing out, just because I've been trading for so long. I've kind of seen it all and done it all, so it's very manageable for me. But in the beginning, it very much was constantly reviewing my trades and keeping a very active and detailed journal kept me on top of my emotions, because I had a plan of what I wanted to do in the markets, and then I would go and execute that plan. And if I did a mistake, if I made an emotional mistake, by keeping a detailed journal, it made me accountable. It made me reflect on my mistakes as well. And I wanted to make sure that my journal was to the best standard it can be. So if I did feel the need to revenge trade, I didn't want to be in a position where I would revenge trade and then write it down in my journal and have to look back and see I did that. So keeping myself accountable, really, and distancing myself from the markets when I should be, kind of really helped me in the beginning. But really, I would just say keeping a really detailed journal, kind of reflecting on yourself a lot, because that's all it is. It's just managing your impulses, really, at the end of the day. But now it's kind of just a part, it's embedded because I've been doing it for a while. Now it kind of just comes naturally. Yep, I remember that, the CHF one as well, in 2015. Really big move. Really big move. Yeah, 100K gone like it's nothing for some people. I know. That's why I think, even with stop losses, you can still get badly stopped as well. Because something like that, in you moving such a crazy amount in a short space of time, even a stop loss won't provide you that much protection. As well, it will help, of course. It's better to have it than not have it in that sense, in that scenario. But you could even use a big chunk with a stop loss as well. So yeah, any money in a trading account is always at risk. If you're in the market, it's at risk. Your trading account is not a bank account. It's different from that. Okay, no, 1.34280, and I'm out. Whereabouts is that? 1.342. Okay, more or less the low. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'll be expecting price to get to as well. I think it's probably waiting for the New York session to get the ball rolling. Euroseat Chef, 6 November 2011. Damn, I mean, this move in 2015 was crazy. But what's 2011? Okay, this move here. Okay, that move there. Was that in 30 minutes? But this is insane. I mean, on the flip side, imagine if you were short here. I know a lot of buyers got wrecked, but imagine if you were short with no take profit. That would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility that could happen in the market. So we always have to be careful there, which is why you want to make sure you're managing risk, and why not trading with money you can't afford to lose, because anyone could be on the wrong side of that. Okay, you do hold trades over the weekend, but not sure about this one. Okay. Yeah, it's always a bit of a sticky situation when you're holding trades over the weekend and it's at your entry price. I like holding it if it's like way into profit. I mean, I say that, but GJ, I'm holding over the weekend and probably will still be around my entry price. But this one's got a pretty big stop loss, so I'm not too worried with that one. But yeah, short of no TP, that would be a great trade. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. I will be live again every day next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you guys are free, make sure you tune in, say hi, we'll discuss some charts, have some fun as well. If you haven't joined the Telegram and the Elevator Traders Discord, go and do that. The link to the Elevator Discord is at the top of the chat, and Telegram is linked in the description as well. I will post opportunities there, and if I do take any other trades, I'll let you guys know in there as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in and chatting with me. Really do appreciate it. Before you leave, make sure you do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in with me. Have a great Friday, a great weekend. I'll be posting my analysis on the weekend as always. So check it out if you guys want my opinion for next week's price action. But nonetheless, guys, have a great week, and I'll catch you all on Monday.